This is video 4 in a free online bite list series that we have on YouTube. My name is Jason Martinez. I teach here in Tucson, Arizona, and I represent Flamenco, the Pueblo Viejo. And this is, again, part 4. It's we worked in video 3 on arm positions, the basic positions, 1st through 9th. And today we're going to talk about moving your arms in space by referencing those positions we learned in the last video. So let's take it from the most simple idea, which is, and common one, which is 7th position here. Now the chest is open, spine is long, neck is nice and long, shoulder blades are down, sliding down the rib cage and in toward each other. So I have this going on. I have inward rotation in my shoulder joints because I keep that shoulder blade engagement while pointing the elbows upward and outward as opposed to letting them droop. So if I'm in a good 7th position, I've got slight bend in the elbow, not overly bent on this front one, and this hand is resting here and elbows pushing forward, so I have a strong base arm. Okay? Now the trick is to keep all these tenons in place as I bring this hand back to the hip and this hand directly back in line with the center line. Now, you don't want to be outside the center line or across the center line. You want to be in line with the center line. Okay? So you're coming from here and here, and it's a direct path, so don't get into circling the arms this way. Also, don't get into dropping the elbow and coming out and then dropping the elbow and coming out. You want to keep that width as often as you can. So we're here and then to there. Keep width in the elbows, shoulder blades down, long spine. Okay? Eventually you're going to put in spinal rotation, which would be basically this position, rotated this way with the upper body. So notice I didn't use my hips to do that, I used my back to get it from here to there. That's what creates this misconception that you're circling your arms. You're not. You're just going directly from the hip to the center line. But we'll talk about spinal rotation in a little bit more detail in another video. So for right now, directly to the hip, directly off. Don't let those shoulders ride up. Don't let the elbows droop. And you'll be in good shape. Now let's talk about how you move arms up and down. So from a high position to a low position and vice versa. So if I've got high 5th, for example, I'm trying to point my elbows up like we had mentioned. I'm long through the fingers. Slight bend in both elbows. And shoulder blades down so that I'm framing my head. And let's say I want to come down. So I'm going to start to outwardly rotate the hands, which creates inward rotation in the shoulder joint, like so. And I'm going to keep those elbows high as I come down and wide. All the way down to low 5th, and then I can finally bend those elbows to hold a low 5th position. Now I come back up in the opposite way, and I'm back up in the high 5th. Now if you notice, when I come up, I'm staying in line with my torso. My arms stay in line with my torso, so if I'm coming up, they're on the same plane as my torso. I'm not getting back behind me here or out in front here, coming directly up the side of the body to the top, and then directly back down in line with the side of the body. So that is one rule, and you can fudge it later on when you're a more advanced dancer, but for right now this is a good template. So let's say now instead of coming down the side, I would like to come down the front of the body. That means I just bring the hands and trace that center line of the body all the way down the low 5th rather, and then back up again. So I can either move up and down the side of the body or down and up the center line of the body, like so. Doesn't matter which hand or which wrist cross over the other, as long as you have good arm position. That's all that really matters. Now, if I'm in low 5th and I want to come up the center line, I come out into 1st position. Notice my elbows stay nice and high. They stay higher than the wrists until I get to about parallel with the floor. Then my wrists start to go higher, and then I'm here. And when I come back down, keeping those elbows pointing up and out, shoulder blades down, all the way down the center line. Okay? Now let's look at the positions that you actually pass through. Let's say I'm in high fifth and I want to go one full revolution of one arm. I keep that elbow pointing back, the shoulder blade down, in line with the side of the body as I come down, up. This would be third position. I pass through fourth position, as you recall, and then back up to high fifth. And then down to third, through fourth, back up into high fifth. Reverse is true. I want to come down the center line, fourth, third, high fifth, fourth, third, and high fifth, and relax. Now that's a lot of work. You probably, if you're trying this with me, you're probably thinking, man, this is torture. It just takes time to get the flexibility, number one, to be able to even get in those positions, and then later the strength to hold those positions over long periods of time. So one good exercise is to work through your arm positions and see if you can go fluidly using all the things we talked about and keeping proper arm form. First to second, I come up the side for third, down and up the side for third on this side. Fourth position comes out to the middle. I switch up the middle, fourth position here. This one simply comes up the center line, a high fifth, low fifth. Sixth position, come back behind myself, create some space between me, my hands and the pelvis, but keep long spine, abs engaged, chest open and relaxed. Seventh position, comes through to the front, directly to the hip, directly off the hip. Eighth position, like bullhorns here, women a little bit higher. Ninth position, just take it up a little bit higher, keeping the hands turned out, and family back to low fifth. That's a lot of work, but get working, and we'll start talking about spinal rotation, create dimension in your shapes in the next video.